you were telling me before we got going that I thought the whole thing about the intern was a joke, right? I thought they were saying, oh, it was an intern. Well, I guess it was an intern that, read something on a chat group or a chat room and posted it with no source. That's not what media does, right? Media has to have a source. And then people just fly into it and say, oh, okay, I got to buy. Well, where's the analysis of, well, what does this mean? Eric Balchunas did this, right? He actually said, okay, there's $30 trillion of assets that right now are prohibited from investing in Bitcoin.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Mark Yusko discusses about Bitcoin and crypto. Mark Yusko says, read something in a chat room or group and posted it without citing it. That's not how the media works, right? The media needs to cite its sources, and then people just jump on it and say, oh, I got to buy it. But where's the analysis? What does this mean, you? Understand Eric Boone did this correctly. He did say, well, there's $30 trillion of assets that are currently barred from Bitcoin investment. Yes, the companies have stated that the RA firms have said, nope, can't own it when there is a BlackRock ETF that must allow individuals to possess it. They must allow since consumers purchase it, let's assume a 0.1% $30 billion allotment, but mark 30 billion on 500. Although 500 billion doesn't really trade, only 100 billion does. And that amount is even smaller, then 30 billion will move the price every day. We witnessed that on Monday. But what if it's only a 1% allocation, which would be a wise distribution that individuals have? There are numerous. A sensible allocation would be 1%, but some people have much more. Some have 2%, 3%, and even 1% place something similar to a gold at 2, 3, or 4%, which equals 300 billion 300 on an asset, valued at $500 billion, and lots of things Mark Yusko discuss. So please watch the video to end, and share, subscribe our channel, Everyday Finance. Thanks.
The crypto followers, them jumping on it? Okay, now, I did repost, retweet. I'm not going to say post, retweet. I retweeted the original tweet. It's my, anyway, fighting back. So I retweeted, but I said, this may not be true. Okay. But if it is, I told you. Because look, BlackRock is going to be approved. They are going to be approved first. I still believe they're going to be approved only BlackRock. People push back on that one. But, and a couple others did say, well, there's no source. It's, likely untrue. But the reality is the reaction to that news is totally legit. In the sense of, yeah, when this is approved, there's going to be increased demand. And it's not if, it's when. So when this is approved, there's going to be increased demand, a lot of increased demand, and prices are going to rise. And yet here we are on Friday, recording this on Friday, and prices back up a little higher than where it was. So people have been saying, you know what? It's coming. And I think that's really interesting.
Treasury gold and cryptocurrency are being flown to quality. People who don't understand that Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency get upset about it. But it really is. He is referring to Bitcoin, not cryptocurrency of any kind, although he may not be permitted to use the term. He has applied for Bitcoin, considering that he's I'm not sure if he truly doesn't understand he's a pretty smart guy, but it is demand for additional cryptocurrencies. But ultimately, Bitcoin is the secure haven. And you can debate whether things are going well, poorly, or neither. Bitcoin is digital gold.
It's a great observation, and it goes to maturity of markets, right?
Right.
In the 1920s, in the roaring 20s, stuff was not priced into equities. there was lots of manipulation. There was lots of scams. There was lots of big movements on, little things. And then that changed a little bit. And then by the 70s and 80s, there were still, things that weren't priced in the sense that you had message boards. I love it, message boards, and the whole famous thing of Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy was totally manipulated, right? From $3 to $330 back to $3, all by these message boards. I mean, he got fined, people got fined. I think some kid might have gone to jail. I can't remember. But I mean, so markets mature and media coverage matures, and the quality of analysis. Now that, and again, it's not poking anybody in particular, but the quality of analysis in our space, if I claim to be part of the digital asset space or the crypto space, it's still working itself to a level of high quality. There are some great organizations, there's some great research organizations, but by and large, stuff gets thrown out there, like what happened on Monday, right? So you were telling me before we got going that I thought the whole thing about the intern was a joke, right? I thought they were saying, oh, it was an intern. Well, I guess it was an intern that, read something on a chat group or a chat room and posted it with no source. That's not what media does, right? Media has to have a source. And then people just fly into it and say, oh, okay, I got to buy. Well, where's the analysis of, well, what does this mean? Eric Balchunas did this, right? He actually said, okay, there's $30 trillion of assets that right now are prohibited from investing in Bitcoin, right? The firms have said, the RIA firms said, nope, can't own it. When there's a BlackRock ETF, they're going to have to let people own it. They're going to have to let their customers buy it. So let's say it's a 0.1% allocation. That's $30 billion. Well, but Mark, 30 billion on 500 billion isn't that much. Well, but 500 billion doesn't trade. It's about 100 billion that really trades, and it's even smaller than that on a daily basis. 30 billion will move the price. We saw that on Monday. But what if it's 1% allocation, which would be a prudent allocation, which people have? There are a lot of people that have 1%, 2%, 3%. Some have lots more, but a prudent allocation would be a 1% position, like a gold at 2 or 3 or 4%. So that's 300 billion on a $500 billion asset. And that ain't priced in. That is, I'm on the record. That is not priced in. That is Brian Kelly-esque, right? Brian Kelly, the former coach of Notre Dame, now coach of LSU. Brian's this egomaniac that has never been wrong in his life, and he never takes responsibility. So he'll blame the refs, he'll blame the weather, he'll blame the players. No, editor, it's you. You say, I did a bad job. I didn't have controls in place so that an actual reporter, not an intern, could actually put something into the main feed of our organization. That's on me as a leader. Society, this is actually a bigger, broader problem of, participation trophies, right? It's never anybody's fault anymore. Society's fault. It's, you're a good person, even if you come in 10th place out of 10. No, you're a loser. And if you make mistakes like this, you're a loser. So get better. All of us get better.